What's going on, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be playing one game of ranked seasons, and this very well could be my last game of ranked seasons for MLB The Show 18's game cycle, as MLB The Show 19 is right around the corner. We're only a couple days away, and I'm extremely excited to start playing that one and try that game out. But before I get into this gameplay, I want to say thank you to everyone. We recently hit 4,000 subscribers and 400,000 views over here on YouTube, which is absolutely insane to think about. And I also want to include a backstory on someone who inspired me to create YouTube content, and that's Kevin God. He reached out to me when I was at around 800 subscribers, and he wanted to play a game for his Out of Position series where we had Babe Ruth and Albert Pujols playing shortstop, and that was just crazy to think about, because I have been watching Kevin God's content since MLB The Show 16 when he was at around 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers, the same position I was in, just starting out without a face cam and without any equipment. So think about how quickly the time goes by, but how much each of our channels have grown since then is really insane. So I just want to say thank you guys so much, and I want to say thanks to Kevin personally, because he's been a huge help for me and definitely a big inspiration, not only to me but to a lot of other people creating YouTube content. And so now let's go ahead and get right into the game. And this opponent has a pretty good squad. He has finest Aaron Nola on the mound, with Ted Williams leading off, Steve Pearce, Ken Griffey Jr., Mike Trout, Francisco Lindor, Javier Baez, Chipper Jones, and Johnny Bench as his catcher. So definitely a lot of power in the lineup and a good amount of guys with some speed there. Also has a pretty good record at 67-30. So let's get right into it. We have finest Lindor up at the plate. I already grounded out with Griffey, and there I hit one to right field. It was a fly ball, got the PCI kind of on it, but the barrel of the bat wasn't quite on it. It was more off the handle, so it was a lazy fly ball. There was no wind in this one, but we're once again playing at the Orioles field. I previously played at this same stadium in the last game, and couldn't really get too much going at the plate. The wind was blowing in a couple miles an hour, and I didn't really have that many runs scored. So I'm looking to try and score some runs early on in this game. I wasn't able to score in the top of the first inning, but that's all right. I'm trying to hold him at least from getting a few runs here in the first as well. I don't want to get behind too many runs and try to have to come back from a deficit. There, I was giving up a base hit. I missed early feedback there with Clayton Kershaw, and that's the thing I noticed about Clayton Kershaw in this game is early on in the first couple innings, you really have to get his confidence up, because if you don't, he's going to get hit around a little bit, especially on All-Star difficulty, which I thought that this game was on All-Star because the PCI was a little bit bigger. The plate coverage indicator on when I was hitting in the top of the first inning, I felt like it would have been a little bit smaller. Like right there, you can tell that it would have been a little bit smaller if the game was on Hall of Fame or Legend difficulty, and I believe it is Legend on when two players are in at least the championship series or higher. I was currently rated at about 810, so here we're facing Baez, and I gave up a home run. It was a no-doubter. That pitch just hung too much of the plate. I had early feedback on it, and I knew it was gone. As soon as I released it, I figured it was going to be a home run. But that one also could have been sent out with Chipper Jones. Luckily, he popped it up to the catcher there. And that's going to bring up Johnny Bench. The bottom half of his lineup really destroys left-handed pitching, so I have to be careful about that later on in the game. I don't really know if I'm going to be able to go the entire game with Kershaw, just because I don't really want to get too far behind, especially if he's able to get a couple runs. He already has one, and I'm really not putting the barrel of the bat on the ball so far. But, I mean, there's plenty of game left. I'm trying to score some runs in bunches and try and get a couple base hits, maybe then knock a 2-run shot or a 3-run shot out of the park. There I'm getting a fastball. That was a sinker inside with Clayton Kershaw. I was getting in on Ted Williams' hands, and I'm trying to focus on the inside half in this game. I talked a lot about that in my previous gameplay video. Trying to establish strikes on the inside half, making the opponent pull the baseball. I think that's something that you have to do in this game, because you have to almost swing early or just early. There I barreled that one up with Ken Griffey Jr. I'm not sure why that wasn't sent out, but I had good okay feedback on it, and the PCI wasn't quite on it. There, that ball was sent out with Francisco Lindor. The game kind of glitched out right there at the end of the clip, but also very next pitch, Babe Ruth is sending a curveball, hanging curveball out on back-to-back home runs. So just like that, I took the lead. That's going to be huge. Going up 2-1 and halfway through the game here, just about in the fourth inning. But Pujols was not bringing his best bat to the dish. during the pregame loading screen, it showed that Pujols was the 87 diamond Pujols, but that was indeed the immortal. I have all the immortals unlocked. I'm not really sure why it does that. Hopefully in MLB The Show 19 it doesn't do that, because sometimes that can be pretty confusing when you're going up against somebody that has let's say a random silver on their team, but really it's a diamond. I don't really know why that happens, but anyway, we were facing Lindor. I went with the slider inside, and I was able to jam him up, even though he hit the ball pretty well to center field. Now we have Reggie Jackson up. This is the postseason Reggie Jackson from collecting all of the equipment, the Halloween equipment, and he crushes that one out. That was going to be a no-doubter, and he has 123 power, and you saw it all right there. The PCI wasn't all the way on it, and that is the feedback there, 103. Very next pitch with Pablo Sanchez, inside half, and I turned on that one. I was looking for an inside fastball. I was looking to go back-to-back. That was a situation where you kind of just feel it. Now he brought in Trevor Hoffman, and with Mike Piazza on an 0-2 count, I'm swinging just late, and that's going to be sent down the right field line for an extra base hit. I knew it right out of the gate that I was going to go for 2. I thought I might be out, but I was going to risk it anyway. I'm looking to try to get in scoring position, especially with nobody out in the inning, because I have the pitcher coming up to the plate. I don't necessarily want to bunt, and Clayton Kershaw is going to be able to get the job done. He's ripping a base hit just past the pitcher, and that's going to be first and third with Griffey up, and I got way too aggressive. I swung at the first pitch right there, hit into a double play. However, that is going to score the run from third base. Just over aggressive there. Should have taken a couple pitches in the at-bat. Brings up Lindor, and I jammed one right to the shortstop. Unfortunate, but it happens. Hit the ball right to him. I was looking to do some damage there with Lindor, but not able to get the barrel of the bat on the ball. I already hit one out with him earlier in the game. I was able to get Javier Baez on that slider with the strikeout. Now we're facing Chipper Jones, and I got him to ground out to shortstop. But definitely the bottom, I guess, 3 or 4 guys of his lineup absolutely destroy lefties. So I have to go to my bullpen right now and start warming some guys up. I want to go to a righty, let's say Koji Uehara, because he was the one that was most rested on my team. I also noticed this guy was struggling with that slow curveball from Kershaw, so I figured I would go to Koji if I needed to go to somebody, because that would be the best pitch repertoire to use against this specific player. Just something I noticed during the middle of the game, and that's a good tip, is to try and analyze what your opponent is hitting, what he's hitting successfully, and that's why I try to really swing at a lot of strikes and try to hit everything in the zone, because I don't want my opponent to figure a few pitches out that I'm struggling with and try to attack me with those. I want him to be a little bit worried about what to throw to me and not be able to throw into the zone and try to throw a lot of pitches. That's my game plan a little bit. So there's a couple tips right there if you're new to the game, but here I left that one over the middle of the plate. I don't know what happened there with Pablo Sanchez. Unable to make the play. Got a weird animation. Didn't really even go for it. He just kind of reached out like the ball was up in the air. It was on the ground. It was a chopper, but it ended up on the ground, and he kind of almost lunged for it. Anyway, that ball should have been sent out with Steve Pearce. I hung that slider right over the middle of the plate, the middle outer half. But now I'm going to a one in the dirt. I'm looking for a double play ball, but he tapped it to the catcher. Mike Piazza is getting a pretty decent animation there. Throws him out. Now we got to face Griffey. I'm going with the fastball or a sinker inside and trying to get that ball inside. I didn't really want it to be a strike, but he's able to hit it to Ken Griffey. Ken Griffey Jr. makes the play. I went ahead and brought in Giancarlo Stanton, the Thanksgiving collection, the Thanksgiving equipment collection reward. I platoon him with that Reggie Jackson, and that's probably the most expensive platoon in the game, or at least it was when I bought those cards. I think I spent about 400,000 stubs on those cards each, and I've debuted both of them. They're both really good. And I also like to use this finest JD Martinez as a pinch hitter. I like to have him on the bench because he hits both left-handed pitchers and right-handed pitchers really well. There he sends a 3-run shot out, making the score 8-1. Now you have Ken Griffey Jr. up, and that's going to also be a no-doubter on a hanging curveball from Rob Nen. Puts the score to 9-1, puts us up by 8 runs. That's going to be awesome to kind of pitch with the lead, throw a lot of strikes. We have an 0-1 count with Koji Uehara in the game, getting Mike Trout to kind of chop one there to second base. Lindor is able to make the play, and that's going to bring up his finest Lindor. And I kind of wanted to, mix in this curveball. I was talking a little bit about it, and that was really my go-to pitch. I would start that bat off with that curveball or go to it as a strikeout pitch, mix in that cutter and the splitter a little bit. I don't think I threw any fastballs so far with this Koji Uehara. But that's going to be it for that inning. That's 2 outs, and Ken Griffey Jr. is going to be able to make the play. Now, he brought in live series Aroldis Chapman, and I have Ted Williams up. I'm slapping that one through. I still had Vladimir Guerrero to go to on the bench, but I didn't want to use him in this situation. The only reason that is because I wanted to save an extra bat just in case if the opponent somehow came back in this game, or I needed to pinch hit for my pitcher, or possibly pinch run for somebody later on to try and score another run. Whatever the case was, I wanted to have an extra bat and a better defensive player to go to maybe swap in later on in the game. And there I went with the curveball facing Matt Carpenter. He brought in that Matt Carpenter off of the bench. I forget who he brought him in for, but that was definitely a good move. That that Player of the Month Matt Carpenter is an amazing card. He plays a lot like a postseason card. He hits like a home run against me every time, except for that last at bat I was able to get the strikeout. But bottom of the 8th inning on an 0-2 count, facing Johnny Bench, I go with the splitter outside, just barely missed the corner there. I was going for the strikeout looking, and I figured I would go right back to it, try and nick that corner, and it just barely catches the corner for strike 3 looking. Now we're facing Ted Williams with a lefty, Immortal Billy Wagner. I hung that curveball. That one could have easily been sent out if he was going to be able to pull that pitch. He hits it to my Immortal Ted Williams to make the play there and left. But now we got to face Steve Pearce. This card is unbelievable. He's another guy that seems to hit a home run against me just about every at-bat. But I figured I'd challenge him anyway. Go with the fastball inside. He takes it there for strike 1. And this Billy Wagner is really good. He smashed it to center field, but the way that the pitches come in the strike zone out of Billy Wagner's hand, they all look just about the same. So I figured I was trying to set him up with a changeup. For the out pitch, I hadn't thrown it yet, but I wanted to establish the inside corner with Griffey. He was ready for that one. Finally turned on a fastball throughout the entire game. I don't think he turned on one of them except for that one that he hit foul. Actually, I take it back. He hit a couple foul balls with a few right-handed hitters that counted as strikes, but he didn't really hit anything hard fair besides that home run earlier on. I think it was like the 2nd inning. But I thought I got him right there with the curveball. Did not offer at it. I figured I would go with the changeup low and away. This is the strikeout pitch if I'm able to get the good feedback. It was early, but I was able to get the strikeout. That's going to be it for that one. Finish off at 816 rated. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. And again, guys, thank you everyone so much. We hit 4,000 subs. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Peace out.